Fever recommends Netflix's first Kannada docuseries. It's called Crime Stories, India's Detectives. Ooh, get ready for spine-chilling narration of some of the bits that took place, some of the highlights. But what a series. I remember others telling me that I'm not going to watch this at night because this is going to leave me disturbed. I won't be able to sleep at night. So when did you watch it?
Today morning.
Others is a wuss like that.
Yeah.
But it is all real life drama.
Yeah.
These are real life incidents that have taken place.
Happening in our city.
No actors whatsoever. Real incidents that have happened, and we are part of the journey. First of all, I want to say well done Netflix for catering to the palette of South India, of various different regional content, right? And there's just so much of appreciation for Netflix for this, because there is a reason why we are consuming content from Korea. We are willing to watch movies and content from absolutely any language as long as it has great content. We are willing to read the subtitles and go for it. ಅದಲ್ಲದೆ ನಾವಂತೂ ಕನ್ನಡದವ್ರೆ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರವರಾಗಿ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದ್ರ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ
everybody has to watch
wouldn't
it.
be justice. Yes. We had to watch this. We ended up watching this. I in fact have interacted with some of the police officers who are part of this docuseries, and let me tell you, nobody is acting here. Everything is as real as it can get.
Yeah, and it looks real also. I mean, it's there, like we are looking at it as a fly on the wall, and it's all happening right there, and we are just there and not there at the same time, because there is no involvement. There's just one camera and real action taking place with real crimes involved and real people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there are 4 stories that you get to be part of, 4 different real life incidents, crimes, and how that crime gets unraveled and how they reach the killer, and how they solve this mystery is what the docuseries is about. A few common things that you'll get to see as part of every story are definitely shots of Bangalore, many drone footages.
Nightlife.
What will happen to Netflix without drone footages? Because there are so many of
that.
it. Landscapes of Bangalore is seen across, and there's a hard relate for someone who's from Bangalore.
Born and brought up there. Good establishing shots.
Exactly. Streets of Bangalore, MG Road, the nightlife that you get to see here. It is the IT capital of India, so the techies, the tech part, life of that's been showed. Very, very well done. Lots of shots of falcons as well, right?
Yeah. Lots of shots of falcons throughout all the episodes. That's another common thing. And it makes us feel that, because falcons represent predators and there is always prey. So this predator versus prey ideology and how it is there right in front of us and it's all over and it's circling around us.
Yeah.
That is eerie. Like they have shown the nightlife of Bangalore, they've also shown the dark streets, the empty streets, and the falcons,
and the
crime is scary
that is happening. Very close to us, right? And the music that they have given just adds to the eeriness. It really makes you feel one with the characters and vouching for the right people. Okay, so let's start off with the first story here. The first story is about this bone-chilling crime that took place where a techie, an educated person, ended up unfortunately killing her mother. And how the police officers go about investigating this crime. First of all, I couldn't believe that something like this can actually happen. And the police give you a step-by-step narration of how they went about solving this crime, and we are with the journey all throughout. Right?
So there is no suspense here because from the very beginning there is a lead to the story. Her brother is a witness and he says what has happened and how it happened and everything. The chase, it's all about the chase. And they are in Andaman Nicobar and they're chasing and we're just watching all the action happening right there. And the cops are being soft towards the accused and everything. That is something that is
that even I felt that because the cameras are around, the police officers are being a little soft. Camera irlilla andre I think sariyag bend ethbidtide.
That comes throughout the series towards the later half of the series.
That happens.
We see that happen with other
episodes.
people. But in this, I think they have gone a little soft on the people involved.
There are a few portions. So when they use these steps to unsolve a murder, right? They use cell phones tracking, number tracking, CCTV footages, also bank transactions.
Yeah.
So these are the common threads that they go with to unsolve any crime. Basically, it also gives you an indication that there is no escaping. CCTV cameras are all across Bangalore. You cannot hide from anything. Whatever you do is being caught on camera somewhere or another.
The cop says once we get to know the face of the accused, now we can capture them. So right now, because of the technology, it's a good thing that they are nabbing everybody who is involved with the crime with CCTV cameras and footages and everything. So that's a great thing. That's a great step.
I don't know whether it's some sort of voyeurism or what, but these are real life incidents and we start watching it. And I just want to recall how in Kannada content, right? Crime Diaries, which was narrated by Ravi Belagere. Recall to that about how that was recreation of crimes that happened and that had a huge audience.
It had a
huge audience. These are real life dramas
and
there are no actors being used whatsoever. So it can get super gripping. Adalde, just when one story ends and they've finished solving a crime, congratulations, well done, this crime has been solved. And there is a hook because they start showing the next story immediately. They show 2 minutes of that. And they tell you that this is the next episode.
So you're caught on.
Yeah, you're caught on. Next episode, Nodlebeku, and you'll end up watching that episode. And that's how it begins with that. The second story actually talks about this married couple where the guy ends up being dead. His body shows up on a road and the prime accused here is his wife and the mother-in-law. That's how they established the story right at the beginning. It has lots of twists and turns. I was shocked with this story.
It keeps twisting, it keeps turning. There are a lot of new things coming up. But one thing I liked in this episode was the cop says we have called in the mother and the daughter and her young brother also who is there. And he says there are two reasons for it. One is that they are suspects, and second,
for their
own safety.
Yeah.
So that is kind of nice, right? I mean, good kudos to the cops.
And it's the second story where they start showing the police's family life, the vulnerable side to them, the human side to a police officer who's so stern, hard, is dealing with criminals, has to see such blood and gory scenes all throughout the day, but he also has a family, he also has kids with whom he interacts, and he's a nice guy once he comes home, no matter how much of a tough guy he is as a police officer.
They have a life before coming to the station in the morning, and towards the end of this episode we see that the girl who was accused and now is free, she comes and tries to fall to his feet because they have been given justice. So the cops give justice to you, right? So they are considered gods. But what is happening is the cop also prays to God every morning because there is a personal life for him. He has his own goals, his own ambitions, his own personal life, which also makes us realize that, they are also humans.
Yeah, and you really are rooting for these police officers because they're trying their level best to somehow get to the killer, and they show hours of the crime taken place, and these many hours have
how many days
time
have
elapsed,
passed,
right? Time elapsed is this much, and whether we have gotten to the killer or no. And the first 48 hours are so crucial, and then the 96 hours, what happens there,
and the pressure that they're dealing with,
pressure and
the media,
the phone calls, how they are communicating this to everyone. It is not easy, and you get to see that side to it as real as possible. So that was crazy. Coming to the third story here. The third story was about a sex worker and how she was murdered. Brutally. And it starts off with the police officer, a woman police officer, having a very, very a blocked approach towards sex workers. She despises sex workers. But through the journey, she gets to know how they are doing this not by choice, but they are somehow involved in this business, and there's a human side to them as well. And I shouldn't be so judgmental towards them. Instead, I should help out and do my bit, which was beautifully unraveled.
I like that scene where there's a party and there are these cops dancing. Another aspect of, them also having their own lives.
Letting go of stress, just having a good time.
And also a sad part of it is there's still a disparity in spite of it being so many years, that there are these many number of male cops, and the percentage of female cops even to this date remains low, which is what she also said, ki when I was young, I didn't even know that women could become cops. But she did it with the help of her husband. Her personal life is also shown back in the village. It's beautiful. She has children. Her husband wanted to become a police officer, but he didn't, so he supported her to become one, and he's taking care of the children back in the village, and she's out in Bangalore city doing her work in spite of all the gender gap that's there.
Yeah. So there is a scene where they invite all the sex workers to the police station, and they mention that in case you have any emergency, if anyone troubles you, please download the Suraksha app, and there's an emergency button. Press that.
Yeah, there's an SOS button on the Suraksha
app.
app.
Somebody from the police will come and save you when time be, which I thought was a very, very nice touch
thing to do. I think they have also provided breakfast to them, and that her mindset towards sex workers changes, and then she helps them get more help by downloading the Suraksha app.
The fourth story just made me feel so helpless. I felt so bad because it was about the kidnapping. All these three stories that they've spoken about till now were about murders. The fourth one, a 1.5-year-old child goes missing, and the child that's gone missing comes from a family that doesn't have a roof over their head. It's a guy who sleeps in a footpath. Him and his wife sell balloons. They already have 6 kids. They're on their way with the 7th kid, and one kid goes missing. It's just so unfortunate.
It's unfortunate for 2 reasons. Because one, it didn't reach a conclusion. It remained a file towards the end in a rack. And second thing, the kid or the family didn't have anything to do with the criminal. So if you see the first 3 stories, they are somehow related. Something happens, there's some problem, the financial issue or some other kind of issue, and the murderer knows those people, and it's happened for a reason. But in the fourth one, the child is just a child, and the family is just living under a flyover with a meager income or maybe no income, and it still happens to them.
You get to see some really raw emotions, and the interrogation scenes. There are portions where a police officer is not really caring a damn about cameras being in the room. They actually interrogate. They take the belt and they whack the bad guy to get words out of them.
And they say in between, Swalpa camera, room in dache we have some other treatment that's coming.
Aeroplane hatsbeko. Things like that. That's come out so very well. The final story gets concluded by them not resolving it. But she says something very, very
important.
Deep.
She says that, this is not solved, but I also carry the burden throughout my life. I mean, I am also not going to be at peace ever because I know that this crime has not been solved. So cops actually deal with a lot of shit. And the second thing is that she says, why I'm closing this is also because I have other crimes to solve, and I only have to take care of this. I have other people to help. So after 5 weeks, they call in the parents and they say, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen, and it remains a file, but they carry those burdens
and
every day.
In one way or another, I hope through this docuseries, some sort of help goes out to the families and as part of their support system, right? Because they've already had to deal with so much. I really hope some good things come out of it. Reasons why we recommend crime stories, India Detectives. This could have been called as Bangalore series or Bangalore crime stories, just like the way Delhi was as well. But the reasons why it's on Fever Recommends is Nam Kannada, the docu-series.
First Netflix debut for Kannada, so every Kannadiga has to watch it.
So now Adashtu local content support ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, and it's amazing to see first of its kind Netflix alli Kannada content hakirodu. So we would definitely encourage you to watch this. Adalde for people like us who are living in the city, it's a story about our city. It helps us be aware of what all's happening.
It's very real. It's happening today. It's happening around us. So it's very important to be aware that these things are happening, and also to take precautions with respect to that Suraksha app or these small things that we do to ensure that we and people around us are safe. And the other third thing is this I just wanted to bring up because in the first episode, the woman who was the accused says that the pandemic also resulted in my mental health going down. So the pandemic has affected all of us. It's been a really bad time. So reach out to people who can help you, who are your friends, counselors, whoever it is, and please make sure that your mental health it's very important and it has to be good.
Yeah, and this just gives you a perspective to life and for us to have appreciation towards life, right?
Yeah.
Because just feel happy that you don't have to go through something as gruesome as this.
Yeah. It also disturbed me that,
life.
For small reasons, all these crimes happen.
The smallest of things could lead to a murder. It's just so unfortunate.
That is the thing that disturbed me the most because the reasons were not very big.
Yeah.
It could have been, in the second story, the cop says that family who went through those shit before killing
they could have just approached
They could have maybe approached the cops. They could have maybe approached a mental health expert. You have so many other solutions than doing this. And also, all of us need to be aware because it's very real.
There you go. That's why we recommend crime stories. Before we conclude though, there is one sentence the cop says in the first episode. Crimes agodakke moore karna. Hennu, honnu and mannu. To explain it,
there is either something romantically involved, or it happens over a property dispute, or money or gold, or three things that actually lead to crimes. These are the basic principles, is what the cop says in the first episode.
And I just felt, oh my God, what a amazing statement, right? It's crazy. So guys, be careful. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. And
we'll watch you in the next episode.
On to the next episode of Fever Recommends. Thanks so much for watching this. Until next time.